Hey guys, how's it going? Trey's here once again, and welcome back to another Create My Class. This will be the last one ever on Black Ops 2 because next Monday will be the 4th, which is the day before Ghost is released, and I'm planning on doing a video just summing up Black Ops 2 pretty much. So it'll just probably be a normal gameplay or something like that. But I'm very sorry to anyone whose class I never got to, especially to Doug Mellon, who gave me an unscoped ballista class a couple of months ago, and I could never ever get a gameplay with it for some reason. As soon as I picked out that class, I would go super negative. I couldn't even get a decent gameplay with 20 kills. It was a pretty dick class though, but still. So I'll put up on the screen now a picture of my new computer. I turned the drive bays around and everything like that so that the red fans shine through the front. I'm also replacing my Kraken fans to red 2000 RPM fans, and also replacing my back fan with a red 2000 RPM fan, same as my crack ones because they're all 140mm fans. But yeah, so I've got a lot of spare fans now. So yeah, that's just the little thing I wanted to put up. So what the topic I wanted to talk about today was a balanced perk system. So in Black Ops 2, the perks were pretty much completely useless, bar a couple. So in the first tier, I've got a web page up over here, so don't mind my mouse clicking. Lightweight was a very good one, you know, no fall damage, things like that. It was pretty useful, you know, run fast, you got a 7% movement increase, pretty good. Flak Jacket I only found, I don't even use it anymore because there's not that many C4 whores. You know, there used to be every second person running around with C4, and that used to also include me, by the way. But now I just don't find it useful. Blind Eye, I never even used Blind Eye, to tell you the truth. I don't even think I've used it once, unless it was on a Create My Class thing, because it's a completely useless perk. Just, they knew it was going to be useless. All it really does, what is it? Enemies UAV can't detect, no, wrong way, sorry. Allows AI controlled air support score streaks can't detect you. So stealth choppers and shit like that. Actually, no, that's not AI control. I know it is AI controlled. My bad. So yeah. So all it was just stealth choppers and pretty much hunter-killer drones, escort drones. All that shit couldn't kill you. But really, it never became that big of a problem. I never really come across that many stealth choppers. The main thing that killed me was probably hunter-killer drones. But I swear I don't know. They just like the taste of my blood or something because they're forever coming after me. Hardline was pretty useful. I will admit that. But generally in every Call of Duty game, the first perks are usually extremely useful, and then the third perks just become pretty shit. So what I mean by my balance topic is a lot of these perks were useless. A lot of people knew that. Like in the first tier, all of them are helpful pretty much, other than Blind Eye. So that's only one. In the second tier, Hardwired I feel was pretty useless. You know, there were a lot of EMP chuckers, but it wasn't worth taking that over, say, Toughness or Scavenger. Cold-Blooded's in the same boat. Wasn't worth taking it over Toughness or Scavenger. Yeah, Scavenger was a really good perk if you're a decent player, you know. Unless you were picking up enemies' weapons, you had to constantly take Scavenger because it did take a fair few bullets to kill people in this game. Fast hands I found pretty useful if I didn't need Scavenger. It was just nice to have that option to make all my movements faster. It just made me a bit more confident in my character. Toughness, of course. Toughness was my go-to perk. A bit of a wimp. I've tried to stray away from it a little bit right near the end of the season. Sadly, it's a bit too late. But yeah, Toughness was just nice because if you didn't wear Toughness, because everyone pretty much did, you were at a huge disadvantage. So on to Perk 3. Perk 3, a lot of them were useless. So Dexterity. Dexterity was a nice perk if you had the extra point to spare. Or extra 2 points. That's one thing that really pissed me off about the perk system. I'll get into that a little bit, is wildcards. But yeah, so Dexterity was nice if you had a spare point to spare. Engineer I felt was extremely useless because if you took Tac Mask would show you shock charge and things like that, flashbangs, and you could get away from it. So Engineer just became pretty much useless other than showing your enemies score streaks through walls, which then you could just throw an EMP, and EMPs have such a big blast radius it didn't matter. So Dead Silence is pretty useless because, you know, you can rarely hear your footsteps. Like, I've turned my headset up to the max and just sat there and listened with awareness to try and hear footsteps, and still it's pretty hard to do that. So Extreme Conditioning. I don't see the point of Extreme Conditioning now. If you don't have unlimited sprint, it's actually pretty unbalanced and pretty unfair, you know. So what, you get a bit of extra sprinting distance, but in the end, you're just like everybody else, you know. you can only sprint for an extra 20 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever it is, and then you just become a normal character. So unless you've got unlimited sprint, there's not that much value to taking it with you. Tac Mask was pretty much my go-to perk. You know, everyone was running around with shock charges, flash grenades, concussions, shit like that, and this would just counter it to and make them pretty useless. So it would make one of their points pretty much absolutely useless on you, which was extremely helpful. Awareness, as I've said, awareness was just shit. There was really no point. But yeah, so that's summing up all the perks, pretty much. That's in my honest opinion, so don't go hating on me. But one thing that really annoyed me about the pick 10 system was, yes, you could pick 10, but if you wanted to pick 2 in the same spot, you had to take a wild card, which I felt was a really waste of a point. Like, I don't think that was fair. I reckon they should have just had a completely empty class, and if you wanted 2 perks, you could take 2 perks without hesitation. Like on your gun, you're allowed to have 2 attachments straight away. This is the first game that's allowed you to have 2 attachments without taking anything like bling or the attachments thing on Modern Warfare 3, so I don't see the point of that. And this gameplay is winding up pretty quick, but yeah, so wildcards I felt were really useless. If they'd taken them out, this perk system would have been a lot more balanced, and if they've implemented other things like make extreme conditioning, make it so that you had the ability to run a lot further, like unlimited sprint, or close to unlimited sprint would be pretty nice. You know, added things like footsteps would have made awareness a nice perk, and would have made dead silence more important. Things like that. Little things that they could have done to really make these perks all balanced. But that's my thoughts on the perks, and they should have really implemented some different perks from other games. Like, I know people use Blind Eye on Modern Warfare 3, but it was completely useless in this game, and I'm probably end up going to talk over this gameplay, so I'm going to have to put another one up. But yeah, so they became pretty useless. If they implemented other things, like took a page out of Modern Warfare 2, I'm very biased against Modern Warfare 2 just because I love that game so much. But if they had sleight of hand, you know, if you didn't want sleight of hand in Modern Warfare 2, like, you had to really give it up. So you either had to choose from, I think it was Marathon. Marathon's an extremely good perk. I loved Marathon over sleight of hand, but you had to really choose. You had Marathon, you had Scavenger. So if you were constantly running out of ammo, you were one of those beast players and didn't want to pick up other people's stuff, you had to really think about every single perk, which is, you kind of didn't have to do. Everyone kind of ran with the same perk set in Black Ops 2, which made it, you know, pretty much made it disappointing. Like, everyone took toughness, shit like that. And one thing I really feel that they should put back in, and this is my honest opinion, they should put back in, was stopping power. Stopping power is what balanced out Modern Warfare 2. Other than the noob tubes and shit like that, but we're not talking about that. Stopping power balanced out a game. Why? Because you had to be a really good player to not take it. So I was a rusher, so I would actually take lightweight. So I had to be confident that I could get the jump on someone and put more bullets in him faster than he could turn and snap shoot onto me. So you had to have that confidence there, and that's where good players shined, was if you were a good player, there was perks to support you. So there was things like Marathon if you loved rushing, and there was things like Scavengers to support you if you went through a lot of ammunition. Sleight of Hand made you, fast to aim down sight, but good snipers would actually run with Marathon, and I was actually one of those Marathon snipers near the end of Modern Warfare 2, and I quite enjoyed that. I quite enjoyed the challenge, and you were still able to go extremely well, and there's actually a guy on Modern Warfare 2 Australia called T-Hawk, and he's one of the best Marathon snipers I've ever seen, and that's where I got the idea from. But yeah, so there's so many perk sets and things like that could balance out the game so much more. Stopping power, like, they really need to implement stopping power, because, you know, if you didn't take stopping power, you were considered a really good player because, you know, you had the confidence in yourself. I would still run with stopping power, you know, on my sniper class and things like that, but it really balanced out that second perk set, because, like, if you were constantly dying and you were pretty much awarding the other team kill streaks, you would run with Cold-Blooded. Now, Cold-Blooded was not overpowered at all, you know, other than the people that used to abuse it, sit in the bush, but they were just weird. But like, every perk just seemed to have a nice balance. Like, I won't go into Danger Close because that didn't have a nice balance, and we won't talk about that one. But One Man Army, what they intended One Man Army for was an extremely good idea until they added noob tubes as well. But One Man Army, I feel, was a really good perk, but people just abused it. Like, it was really nice to say, mainly search and destroy. You could start off with your sniper and you could get those spawn kills. and then you could switch over to your rushing class or your assault rifle and end up defending or attacking the bomb. So that perk set would have been balanced without danger close and a noob tube, like 100%. If like that wasn't in the game, that perk would have been absolutely amazing. But of course, the only people that used it were grenade launchers. So they need to implement something like that, like somewhere where you can switch class. Like every perk I felt was balanced. Like there was a couple that you didn't need, like what was there in perk 3? There was sit rep. Sit rep was you know, the sit rep normal was pretty shit. Like you could just see people's equipment. The only way to get it pro was to shoot claymores and people camping with C4s, but you generally wouldn't get that. And you get 120. It was pretty annoying. But like the pro version of that, hear people's footsteps, that was really good. Like but then you could just counter that with ninja, so that was nice as well. Like there was always a counter to everything. Everything seemed balanced. And one thing that was really good was pro perks. I really miss pro perks. In Black Ops 2, that just felt like there was nothing to really aim for perk wise. Like you know, once you got your perk, that was it. The only unlocks you could really get was diamond. So if they had pro perks that really worked off each other, like ninja, you would stay off heartbeat monitors to begin with. But if you got those 250 kills, I think it was, then you had quiet footsteps. They worked really nice together and they weren't overpowered. Like it wasn't an overpowered pro version and it wasn't an overpowered primary version. It was very nice and a nice balanced perk system. They should really go back in time and look at perks rather than trying to think up new ones which end up going to be shit. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on perks, guys. I'm sorry this commentary went for so long, but I just had to get my opinion out there. Anyway, guys, I've been Trays and I'm out. See you guys.